Hi everybody, it's Levi back in the Nerd Cave again, and today we're going to go through our installation of the HiBoost mobile cell amplifier. If you watched our earlier video on the unboxing, you know that this is just a device that you place in your vehicle. It's powered by 12 volts. You put a magnetic antenna on the roof, and it amplifies the cell signal wherever you happen to be. So especially if you're on a road trip, you're out in a rural area, and the cell signal gets a little weak or your mobile data starts to slow down, the booster is supposed to capture that signal, boost it up inside your vehicle so that you never lose signal and that your data speeds stay nice and fast. At the end of this, we'll give you our recap after a couple weeks of use, but right now let's get to the installation so you can see exactly how easy it is to put it into your vehicle. So first things first, let's talk about the vehicle we're going to be putting this in. This is our Dodge ProMaster. It's a 2016 1500 model, and we actually had this fitted out as a camper van on the inside. So the first thing we're going to do is pretty straightforward. We're going to assemble the antenna. One of the things we really loved about this whole project was the lack of tools we needed. There was just a couple things we needed that you'll see in a minute, but for the most part, this was all done with our fingers and our hands. So we're going to go ahead and screw the whip of the antenna onto the base. The base is magnetic. It's got a nice long cable on it so you can set it wherever you need to on your roof and then run it back down inside of your door. So you saw the van. We're going to have to grab our step ladder and get up on the roof. I was really excited to find out that the roof of my van was in fact metal and not fiberglass, which I had been worried about. But we go ahead and set that pretty close to the center for us, so it's a little out of the way, and then I had to pull the cable under the solar panels so that it wouldn't flop around while it was up there on the roof. Now, in a car, I feel like you can set this pretty close to the edge of the vehicle. The magnet is really strong, holds it in place really well. And then for me, because we've got that big sliding side door, I'm just going to go ahead and tuck that cable a little bit out of the way so that when the door slides shut, it doesn't crimp it. Now, when the door is shut, it actually does not pinch the cable, and you'll see that a little bit in some of the videos we have down the road here. So putting up the mounting bracket was really easy. Obviously, we have lots of space inside the vehicle because it is a van, but it was just 4 screws. I mounted it to the door post of the side door. Pretty straightforward. Power drill and a screwdriver, and those guys went straight in there. These are actually the screws that came in the box with the HiBoost, so I didn't have to go get any additional hardware items. So once we've got that up, we're going to make sure that the amp fits on the bracket, and sure enough, it does. One of my big concerns had been, if I mount it like this vertically, is it going to rattle around while we're on the road? And we'll talk about that a little bit more as we go along too. So the next step, we have the exterior antenna mounted. We're going to now mount the interior antenna where the amplified signal is going to be rebroadcast. And there's just the little 3M sticker on the back, and because I have no fingernails at all, it takes me just a second to get that off there. But if you've got a little utility knife or you have somebody handy that actually has fingernails, this is really easy. You just peel off the sticky bit and then find a good spot to put the antenna. For us, we're going to go ahead and put it right there in the sleeping area where we are most of the time when we're using our internet. Then you just take the amp, pull off the protective covers on the antenna connections, and screw those right on. Again, no tools needed for this. We did not get a wrench or a pair of pliers out for this whole project. We'll go ahead and connect the outside antenna to the other end of the unit. And it's a nice little brass threaded fitting, goes right on there. These are not going to rattle loose as we bounce around on some back roads. They're going to stay right where we left them. The power cable is last. We'll go ahead and hook that up, and again, that also has a threaded collar. If you go back look at the unboxing video we did earlier, you'll see exactly what that looks like. But that 12-volt cable that we're putting on there is also threaded on. So again, vibrations are not going to cause that to rattle loose. Once we had all 3 cables connected, we throw it back on the bracket, and you see how easily that slides on there. I'm going to go ahead and do a quick power test, plugging the 12-volt plug into our auxiliary power in the back of the van. And we'll yank that off one more time, and you can see all of the green lights are lit up, meaning it's amplifying on all 4 cellular bands. So that is, in fact, all you need to do for the installation. Now, we cleaned it up a little bit. After we did that installation, we came back tucked the cables out of the way behind some of our paneling. We actually finished up the external antenna cable a little bit by tucking it into the door insulation. You can see there the power center for the back of the RV, where we've got it plugged in. And if you look here, there's a little gap. So you see the amp is not actually touching the post at all. And again, I had some concerns that this was going to cause a rattling noise. RVs already rattle enough. I didn't want this one to be another noise in the back of the vehicle as we were driving. It turns out there really wasn't any noise at all, and we're really happy with that. So we're going to look up on the roof at the antenna mount itself. The magnet is plenty strong to hold it to the metal roof of the vehicle, but I added a little speed tape anyway because it's a RV and a little taller, and I didn't want it to rattle around in the wind. I think on your car, it will be just fine with the regular profile. So there you go. That was our HiBoost install. It was really pretty straightforward. The only tools we needed were a screwdriver and a drill to mount the bracket in the vehicle. I think this will work great for any size vehicle. For our van, it just happened that I had to get a ladder out in order to get up on the roof. But when we took it out on the road on a couple of road trips through Oklahoma and Texas, what we found was that the dead spots we had seen previously on the interstate and on some of the back highways where we would completely lose our mobile data signal and not have our internet connection at all, those spots just didn't exist anymore. It was not as big of a signal gain as I was expecting from the amp, but it absolutely does its job in making sure that as long as there is some signal, you don't lose your connection. So we're really happy with it. It's going to stay in the van. It's going to be a permanent part of our travel kit. The other thing I was really happy about was the fact that with the amp mounted on that bracket hanging there, I was worried that it was going to rattle around and it would be one extra thing in the vehicle that we would hear rattling, but that didn't happen at all. It's very securely mounted where we have it, and even with that little gap between the amp and the wall, there's no rattle no matter how bumpy the road is. I never hear that amp bouncing around. So we hope this helped. We hope you check out the guys at HiBoost and give them a look if you're in the market for any kind of cell signal amplifier. The one we got and put in our vehicle was wonderful, and we're absolutely going to leave it there as part of our regular kit. We hope you tune into Nerd Butler again. You can find us on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter. Check out our blog at nerdbutler.com. And if you have any questions or comments you'd like to leave, please do so on any of those social media platforms, or you can reach out to us directly through the website or at contact@nerdbutler.com. And remember to like, share, and follow on all those social platforms to get more information about technology and how to make your life just a little bit easier.